If you like this video, hit that subscribe button. I put out new Storybook Brawl videos every single day at 9:30 p.m. EST, and turns out most of you guys aren't subscribed yet, so what are you waiting for? I'm a pretty small channel, so I do also pay a lot of attention to comments and likes, so let me know what type of content you guys want to see. Enjoy the video. What is up, everybody? I'm NoLucksGiven, and today we're going to be taking a look at a King Midas game. King Midas is one of the newer heroes in Storybook Brawl, and he's a little bit tough to make work. The fact that you don't have access to any treasures with King Midas can be a little bit tricky. Generally, the goal with him is to power spike in the mid to late game, but not the super late game, just like the late mid game or the early late game. And Happy Little Tree is a great pickup for the first turn. One of the ways that Midas has to function is with scaling units. And on tier 2, there are 2 different scaling units that you can pick up. So that's Happy Little Tree and then Wizard's Familiar, which we also see right here. Getting to combine those early means that you get to really start scaling them, and yeah, that just benefits you well going forward. You can do some nice things with them. Now, the Wizard's Familiar won't usually make your final comp, though I do have an interesting King Midas video somewhere down the pipeline that is a mage build, which is kind of interesting to look at. But for the most part, you really want Happy Little Tree and yeah, maybe some princesses and princes and things like that, because those are the things that are really going to allow you to scale. I have had some videos on the channel, I believe, where I transform into King Midas once I'm already level 6 and have some good treasures, just to basically, you know, get some free upgrades on some units, and that winds up playing out totally differently. King Midas is a great hero to transform into once you already have your treasures and you're set, and you're just looking for a little more oomph in that end game. But as a starting out hero, it doesn't perform that well because, well, 2 things. One, it sometimes is difficult to field a full board because, like, right here, I would either, like, say that was a shop that I rolled on the next round. I either have to take that egg or take that baby dragon, in which case I'm playing a unit down, or I take the unicorn, which isn't really improving my board at all. So you can see how things like that get awkward. Like right here, I basically have to pick up this Wizard's Familiar, so I'm going to be playing 4 units on 3.0, which might be fine. We're going to get a lot of power out of casting this Luna's Grace on Happy Little Tree, and we've got a 6/6 Wizard's Familiar. So this can be fine, but it is awkward with Midas that even though you have this really objectively strong hero power in terms of just the impact that it can create for the upside, not for the downside, you are put in a lot of scenarios like this in the early game where you're forced to play down a unit, and you've got to hope that you've got enough stats. Now, Luna's Grace, I think, will carry us this battle, but Happy Little Tree, outside of this battle, only has a sugar and spice on it. Didn't get to keep the magic research. Kind of knew I wasn't going to be able to keep the magic research. You're mostly casting it there for the permanent bonus on the Wizard's Familiar, but you do need to find a way to grow the Happy Little Tree's attack, because it doesn't have that much to begin with. Now, if we were able to pick up this Haunted Creeper that my opponent had, then we would be able to get a lot of stats out of that. But short of that, we'll want to pick up something like a Mad Mim, or potentially like this Stag in the meantime. And I don't actually wind up picking up this Stag here. I think a great play on this board could have just been Stag plus Ogre Princess, but because I have this Wizard's Familiar and I know I want to scale that too, I'm actually going to go with Gingerbread Party and then take that into Ogre Princess. And Ogre Princess, I think, is actually incredible on King Midas because you get some just early units. You can see we're still playing 5 units right now, despite it being 3.1, and You can also upgrade Ogre Princess a lot easier than most heroes, which an upgraded Ogre Princess can really do some wonders on King Midas as well. And it is a prince or princess. It's a little bit tricky to pick up the white stag because it's an animal, and animals aren't going to scale. The main tribes that you are looking for with the king are royals, princes and princesses, and trees, because both of those have really good scaling units on tier 4. Heartwood Elder and Prince Arthur. And those are the main ways that you are going to grow King Midas, is by finding one of those 2 units and grinding it out. Fortunately, we're not going to get the sleighs here. We save ourselves a little bit of damage with this strong, happy little tree, but we're still going to take 7 down to 26. And funny enough, the 2 players doing worse than us are definitely playing better heroes than us with Sadrak and Wonderwaddle. So just goes to show you that the hero isn't everything. There are some other determining factors within that. We will pick up a Madman, like I said. I think that is a good one to support the happy little tree. A 212 ain't nothing. A 512 is at least a respectable unit at this point in the game. And I think there is one change that I don't make on this board. I should put the baby dragon in 2 and the happy little tree in 3. But otherwise, I like this setup. I think we're decently slated to slay with both the Ogre Princess and the Vampire. And we've got a 10-10 Wizard's Familiar. We're not huge by any means, but we could win this combat, and we could, we could start clawing our way back into the game, I think. I think that we are in a fine enough position here, and the next turn is 4.0. That's the turn where King Midas is going to put up or shut up. We're either going to start finding some Heartwood Elders or some Prince Arthurs and trying to build a board that can scale us into that late mid-game portion of it. So yeah, happy little tree doing a lot of work. The Wizard's Familiar doing a decent amount of work, and Ogre Princess actually gets to do the most work because she gets to slay twice. So we're going to get 2 free units here. That's absolutely wonderful for us. We're going to get a Crafty and a Spellweaver. Not super exciting, but exciting enough. We'll pick up a Vampire double, and that is another unit that can scale, so it could at least make a decent impact on the King Midas board. You do have to consider if you want to like scale it even further here with the River Wash Mermaid. River Wash Mermaid in 5 could potentially start scaling the happy little tree too, but we are just going to roll, and we wind up rolling right into an upgrade for Ogre Princess, which is really great, especially because we're now tier 4, so this might be able to give us some Prince Arthurs, some Heartwood Elders for free, which would be awesome. I do put in this Spellweaver as well, put it into 3, and then, or put it into 2, I mean, so that it is getting the buff from the Madman. And now all of a sudden we're kind of looking powerful. We've got 3 actually good upgraded units. Haven't found the second happy little tree yet, so definitely missing some stats on that, but a 514 I think is nothing to be ashamed of. And then an upgrade Ogre Princess is going to, it's not quite scaling, but it will allow us the ability to find things that allow us to scale into the future. The main 2 comps that you do wind up playing with King Midas, like I said, are Royals and Trees. There are other ways to play it out, though. Those just wind up being the most powerful. Get a really good attack there, because that means, I mean, we might even get another slay this combat. Yeah, because that's going to hit there. No, our Minotaur will trade with the Shadow Assassin. We were close. We were close to getting a second slay with the Ogre Princess, but I think I'd rather hit my opponent for some damage. Actually, I don't know if that's true. I'd probably rather keep Sadrak in the game, so that way some of my other opponents, because I just played against him, some of my other opponents then would have to play against a real player and not a ghost. playing up against a 28 health trophy hunter in this game. All right, my camera's back. Sorry about that. And what did I miss? What did I miss? Honestly, I think you just want to roll for Arthur and Heartwood Elder here. I mean, you can cast this spell. This spell's fine on the Vampire again, because it gives +1 to Vampire, +2 to Wizard's Familiar, but I don't think there's anything else super exciting. The one thing that you do have to consider, like, because I haven't found a Heartwood Elder or a Prince Arthur yet, is do I want to pursue some copy boy strategies? And I don't have that here. But basically, copy boy is just a really strong strategy. Oh, I just realized my camera is still frozen. Sorry about that. Let me see if I can fix that during this battle. You might not get my camera back. And you might not need it. Normally it comes back right now. Nope. Okay. Alright, we're going to do the rest of this video with no camera. Apologies for that. But we're going to get a sleigh with Ogre Princess, and I think this might be the battle. Yeah, this is going to be the one where we get 2 sleighs with Ogre Princess, so that is pretty fantastic. We're going to get 2 tier 4 units. Like I said, tier 4 units are some of the best that you can get, and we get Prince Arthur. We also get that Friendly Spirit, which is a little bit of what I was talking about. Basically, it took me a long time this game to try to find Arthurs and Heartwood Elders, so I'm going to buy XP, and I'm going to consider transitioning into a copy boy strategy. I could pick up upgraded Royal here to kind of scale with Arthur, and Juliet is a good one to start scaling, but I think at this point I don't really want to go into Arthur because it's not that it's too late. It's just I feel like I could maybe win this combat, and then we could hit 6, and then we could start upgrading some tier 6 units. However, having said that, I do think that a pair of Heartwood Elder is actually too tough to pass up. Like, a pair of Juliet isn't really that strong, but a pair of the scaling unit actually is really strong. So we'll take the Heartwood Elder. We are going to wind up playing down a unit yet again, but now we're going to be giving this happy little tree +4/+4 every turn, and that could actually turn into something really nice. We're also giving our Ogre Princess +2/+2 each turn, and maybe we'll be able to scale with that. The fact that we also took the Wish Upon a Star means that now we're going to be getting a tier 5 unit from Ogre Princess, should she be able to slay. It looks like we will be able to slay. We might even be able to slay twice this combat as well. Ogre Princess definitely doing a lot of work. It's going to depend on what my opponents can trade off with their ranged units. And yes, we will be able to get a second slay. So Ogre Princess doing a lot of work here. 2 free tier 5 units. Here is the copycat, but now we've got the Heartwood Elder. So now I'm kind of back on Team Trees and trying to beast out the rest of this game, if you will. I don't believe I take this copycat. Yeah, I get really, really close to buying it, but Heartwood Elder really, really pushes you in a direction. It's just so strong, being able to get +4/+4, and importantly, like with Prince Arthur, you've got to get the Arthurs, and then you've got to upgrade the Royals. Now, we already have one upgraded Royal, but with the trees, we just need to find any tree. It doesn't have to be an upgraded tree just yet. We just need to find any tree, and we're in business. Could have even taken these Darkwood Creepers. I think they're a little late because I can't play them because I need to play this Shoulder Fairy. It's huge. It's a 1924. I'd love to play this 2020 Wizard's Familiar as well, and I want to play the Arthur just to get a few more stats on Ogre Princess. So I would have played something like a Soul Tack or a Rotten Applewood here. but I don't think I can settle for Heartwood Creeper. I think it's just too tiny at this stage of the game, so we're not going to worry about it, and maybe we'll be able to pick up some tier 6 trees, because there's a lot of trees on tier 6, and that is also part of the strength of Midas. There is the Rotten Applewood from our opponent. Oh, I guess we did win the combat last turn, too. Oh, that's also something really interesting to consider. Yeah, maybe because I won the combat, I could have considered harder going into Copy Boy, but that isn't the route that we went with. My opponent is going to steal our tree, so that's fine. They're also team trees. And then these vultures are probably a little bit scary, and we're going to fail the slay there on Ogre Princess. But we're going to be able to clean up a little bit more. Are they going to steal the fairy with Siren? That's fine. So we take 8 here down to 18, but we're still feeling pretty healthy. We're still in the top 4 of this lobby, as the Wonder Waddle and Horde Dragon are almost dead. Here we can go for Mix-a-Wizzle and try to get a cheap upgrade on a 6. I'm not sure if that was totally worth it. And now I'm kind of off of Rotten Applewood. Now I really just want upgrades on these tier 6 units and Shoulder Faeries and Echo Woods. Those are really the main things that we're looking for. There's the good boy, but I don't want it. Shoulder Fairy winds up being really, really strong. We can sell 3 things here. You can see oops, sorry about that. You can see I'm just trying to figure out what I want to sell, and it's probably just going to be this bench. I'll hang on to the Arthur for a second, and then I get to play a Robin Wood and give that +4/+4 return. And Robin Wood is also really good because I guess it depends on the order. No, the Robin Wood's going to wind up buffing the Heartwood Elder here. I was thinking it might buff the Happy Little Tree, but the Happy Little Tree actually has more attack now than the Heartwood Elder after the Heartwood Elder buffs it. Yeah, so it'll wind up buffing the Heartwood Elder. It'll also the Heartwood Elder will also buff the Robin Wood to 12 attack too. So that should buff the Heartwood Elder if I understand the mechanics of this game correctly. Let's see. Yes, it does indeed buff that. And then Vampire is still growing, so we're doing pretty good here. We've got a Vampire that is growing decently considerably each turn, and then we've got a Vampire that is still managing to grow, and then we've got an upgraded Shoulder Fairies, which is just a huge, huge unit. And off of the Ogre Princess, we get another huge unit. We get an Ashwood Elm, which is just already bigger than Vampire, because getting +4/+4 from the Heartwood Elder is going to mean that it has 24 attack. No, 28 attack, because it gets +4/+4, and then it gets +24 attack. So that's all great. That is a ton of stats now on the Shoulder Fairies, and now we're pretty firmly in Shoulder Fairies. Though another Heartwood Elder does seem pretty good. We could move this Robin Wood into slot 2 here, and then we've got just a bunch of stats going across the board. We don't even need to put the Robin Wood in 2 if we'd rather just guarantee an attack with our ranged unit, but we are playing against the Ghost, so we should move it into position 2, just get a little bit more scaling just for this fight. And yeah, now we're pretty solidly trees. If we can get a few more slays with the Ogre Princess, that would be sweet. And we're just getting some additional stats going into the late game. We could put the Happy Little Tree into slot 3 as well, just because health is ultimately going to be more important than attack. We're going to have enough attack, and you can never have enough health. There is at some point you just have an overkill amount of attack, 60 into 11, 38 here into 7 or 5. These numbers are kind of overkill, even 44 into 25. We don't really need more attack right now. What we really need is just more health on that Shoulder Fairy, though, I mean, obviously we don't need that here either, but we're going to do good. We're going to get another Slay with Ogre Princess, and that Slay gives us an Echo Wood. So now we are really cooking with gas. At this point, we are probably looking to cut the Ogre Princess, because the more Shoulder Fairies that you can play, the better your Echo Woods are as well. There is some temptation here for me to fire off an Evil Twin, but awkwardly I cannot cast this Evil Twin on Happy Little Tree. We could cast it on the Heartwood Elder, but I think we're pretty likely to cut this Heartwood Elder soon, so it's not going to be that much stats that we get out of it. Like, I could already see not playing Heartwood Elder on this combat. I probably will play it. I probably won't play the Robinwood, to be totally honest, looking at this board, but there's certainly some decisions to be made right about now. We can play the additional Shoulder Faeries and then the additional Echo Wood, or not the additional Echo Wood, but just the Echo Wood, and then I do really want to cast this Flourish as well. Yeah, so that is what I'm going to go for. I'm going to put in the Shoulder Faeries and the Echo Wood, and oh, interesting. I do decide to cut the Heartwood Elder. There was a little bit more of an interesting play there. I could have used the Heartwood Elder to support the Echo Wood, and that way it's also supporting the Happy Little Tree, but I either just didn't see it or didn't want to go for it, and I think it was that I honestly just wanted to play a ranged Robinwood. I think that was ultimately the deciding factor here, because just having access to a ranged unit is going to be good, and we're doing pretty good in this game. We're now the lobby leader, which is a lot to say for King Midas. Now, our opponents are going to be able to outscale us, but we're extremely, extremely strong right now. This is where Midas power spikes, when you can get these Shoulder Faeries online, when you have these good units, when you can start to pick up some Echo Woods. This is where Midas is really good, and basically now, I think here is where I make the play. I'm just declining to play my best board against Pants? Is that what I'm doing? I'm just saying, no, I think I can beat Pants regardless here. I think that might be what I'm doing. Now, if I sell... Yeah, that's really tempting. I can sell Ogre Princess, Heartwood Elder, and Robinwood and pick up another Shoulder Fairy. I think I have to do that, because that is just too strong. I don't want to waste this 2 gold by doing nothing. And yeah, this looks good here. We'll just frontline both of the Shoulder Faeries. So now, both of these frontline Shoulder Faeries are going to get plus... well, sheesh. Okay, let's figure out Heartwood Elder's attack first. Heartwood Elder is going to get +4/+4. It'll have 12. It'll have 32. 12 plus 32 is 44. 44 attack, so the Shoulder Faeries are each going to get 88 attack, which means the Echo Wood is going to get... 88 times 2.5, yeah, it's at 300, there we go, spoiler. And then they're all going to get 120-something defense as well from the Happy Little Tree. So really strong board here. We're able to take down Peter Pants, and now we're in the top 3 with King Midas. And this is honestly kind of textbook King Midas, and yeah, just how you want to play him whenever possible is take the trees. The trees give you some scaling, and then transition into playing as many Shoulder Faeries and as many Echo Woods as you possibly can. Again, we're stuck with this unupgraded Happy Little Tree, so we could have had a ton more scaling. If we found another early Happy Little Tree, we would have had double the scaling on this board, or double the health on almost all of our units, which is pretty crazy to think about. Maybe not double, but I mean, I'd at least bring us to 80 or 90, which is, you know, so maybe it's 50% more. We'll say 50% more health, and that would have been pretty incredible. Here we'll lock the Echo Wood. That is a really strong unit for us to be able to pick up next turn, and then we'll buy and sell the Kitty Cup Purse before playing the Witch's Brew, just to open up a space in the shop. But that is going to give us an upgraded Echo Wood, so then we're going to be looking at like 600, or actually it's going to break 700, I'm sure, by next turn with that Echo Wood. And I'm going to try one more time. Nice. Sometimes if I just let my camera sit for a little bit, it'll come back and join us. So camera's back just in time for some of these final battles. Yeah, they're trying to shrink the Echo Wood, but it's not taking. And you can see, like I said, all of our things have more than enough attack. It's about, do they have enough health? And you can see a very clear example of that looking at my opponent's Echo Wood as well, because that Echo Wood is just barely hanging on there. We are just going to barely win this one, though. There's probably some permutations where we lose that battle, but we are now in the top 2 with a pretty solid board. We just beat this Trophy Hunter player, but Trophy Hunter can do some crazy things. You do have to consider the Shrivel against Trophy Hunter. I don't remember now, currently, what the Trophy Hunter was playing. I have kind of forgot. But I'm sure at the time while I was playing this game, I was pretty well aware of what the Trophy Hunter was doing. So here we're just rolling, and there is one thing that's kind of interesting to consider as we think about what Trophy Hunter does. And Trophy Hunter really needs to get slays, or is just so much more powerful if they're able to get slays. That's part of why these Shoulder Faeries are in the front line, but like, basically what I'm getting at is eventually I want to move my scaling units to the back line. And ideally, next turn would be buy this Shoulder Fairy, roll. How much gold will that give us? 6 gold? I guess just buying an Echo Wood right there and then. I mean, we'd probably want a Pigomorph more than an Echo Wood, but what I'd love to do is frontline all of my good stuff. Now, it doesn't actually look like anything is really lined up well to slay, but my opponent is getting a bunch of stats here. You can see our Echo Woods are still the same size right now, but their Echo Wood is now certainly a little bit bigger than ours, and they've got a bunch of huge range units. So it's also really important for us to hit that Shoulder Fairy, because otherwise we're just going to die. I mean, I think we're just going to die in this one. I told you that King Midas falls off a little bit in the late game, and one hero that doesn't fall off in the late game is, of course, Trophy Hunter. So they are going to be able to best us here a little bit. Oh, I guess Lightning Dragon could be good. It's good because if we hit their Echo Wood, we could win. Yeah. Okay, I like that. Just try to find some type of scammy spell, and then I'm going to do what I was just talking about, is move all of my scalers to the back line. So we've got like a 1 in 3 to really get my opponent this combat. And even on our misses, if we're still able to take out a Baba Yaga, that could be really good. My opponent won't be able to slay, and then we also have the opportunity to attack and hit their friendly spirits and get a decent advantage from that, because I think they only, I wasn't paying attention, maybe we hit one of their things, but we didn't hit the double supported unit, which was their friendly spirit there. So if we can hit whatever their double supported thing is, then that would also take away a pretty significant amount of their power, because, like, don't forget, my Echo Wood is actually going to be big, and the Lightning Dragon gets a good hit, but then they do have another Echo Wood. That's what their other unit was, and unfortunately that's going to be enough. The big difference this game is their friendly spirit hit itself in one of its early iterations, which meant that its later iterations were then that much larger. And now Grimsoul slayed with an upgraded Baba Yaga, so now friendly spirit is just going to be able to keep on slaying. My opponent definitely outpaced us, but there was an opportunity there for us to potentially win that combat. If we got the first attack and killed either their Echo Wood or their friendly spirit, in addition to what our dragon did, but honestly, you can't feel too upset about a performance like that. I think that this is like basically textbook Midas, and for Midas to get second is pretty good. Generally, you're looking at lower finishes or like fourth. I feel like fourth is a pretty common place with Midas, but this is how you play him reasonably optimally. We obviously got a little bit lucky with some of the ogre princess slays in the early game, and but importantly, we were able to scale and just pick up all the shoulder fairies and all the echo woods that we can find. Unfortunately, though, despite picking up all the echo woods, our opponents were also able to pick up some echo woods in the finals there. So we needed to pick up some more. We needed to pick up all of them so that they had none of them. But that is going to be it for me today, guys. Thank you very much for watching. I'm NoLucksGiven. Peace.